Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. So we're gonna play something short and sweet this morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Um, whew, man, it's hmm, it's been a crazy couple of days. It's been a crazy shit. It's been damn near a crazy week, man. Um, and I just really want to get into, you know, I had to think about how, you know, if people don't know, Tez made a live video yesterday, and you know, hey, go out there and tell your truth, man, even if it is lies, and it can be those lies that you told can be debunked, can be proven wrong, and that is the objective. The objective is to show this man, this child, because that's what I'm going to call him, because he's not a man. Um, because it's obviously people don't understand that what exactly they were watching yesterday, or exactly what they were going on. See, because it was a divide and conquer live, right? Because he sat there and called out certain people that were, let's say, not choosing sides, and choosing families, choosing this fight, right? Choosing to better our communities instead of harassing and intimidating impacted families, right? That are coming out there and telling their truths. Uh, and then you have activists and then other impacted families that are jumping aboard, right? So I want to show people that is the makings of a slave, man. I posted a video about Melina Abdullah, who is one of the co-founders of Black Lives Matter, Los Angeles, right? And when you dig into her, it's so fucking ridiculous, man. Like, this lady is crazy. And there's so many families, so many families. It's not just one, it's not just two. There's multiple families saying the same shit. But because you have these elite families, and you have people like Ben Crump, you got people like Al Sharpton, you have people like, and I want people to know this has nothing to do with the impacted families. But if you're not speaking out and you're letting other families suffer because of the simple fact you got paid, you're part of the problem. You are part of the problem. So, and I'm talking about my son, the general. I'm talking about, uh, oh shit, let me put it on Do Not Disturb. But I'm talking about the Tamika Mallory's. I'm talking about these so-called wannabe national activists, but yet y'all leave out the families. They do national marches, they do national events, but leave out the families. They pick and choose, they select. That Black Lives Matter, but or do we only see the most profitable matter? because that's how I see it, man. Because there's too many families out here, too many impacted. There's what the statistics just came out. What in the last 3 years we're averaging over 3 a day that are lost to the hands of police. The youth brutality, regardless if it's. We just lost one in Minneapolis the other day. Yeah, but y'all don't want to. And you know what's crazy? It's because of the police and because of suspects, right? So how are we getting change? Only thing I see is changing is bank accounts. I don't see no legislation being changed. And if it is being written, it's watered down. It doesn't do anything for black people. It does things for BIPOC. We're not BIPOC. Stop. You know, it was crazy because I was on a Twitter space last night and there was a reverend from Minneapolis, and I know him, Reverend Tim Christopher. And they were talking about gun violence. And was talking about this last, couple weekends and how it's primarily been Somalian kids. And Reb said that he's like, it's been Somalian kids, and he's like, what do you mean by Somalian kids? And he's like, I said what I said, and he's like, what do you consider yourself? I consider myself a foundation Black American. Dude started cracking up, and it's like, what y'all separate yourselves? We don't know Africa like that. We don't know Africa like that because the Africa that they've showed us is lies. They wanted to show us that it's a third world country. Africa's not like that. Not all of it, anyways. Africa is a very developed country. It's the fact that you have countries like Britain, you have countries like England, Spain that still have their hands all in Africa. That ain't got nothing to do with Africa. It's the fact that Africa is a poor country and needs other countries to survive. Needs other countries to survive. That's what that is about. But let me get back to the subject that's at hand. And we're talking about deflect, distract, right? Because that's what happened yesterday. That's what happened. He wanted to make it about something that was in the past, right? He made it about me and him, right? And then included people from the past that never wanted to be involved. So I'm involving people that he wants to involve. So that's Michael Brown Sr. Because I say what I say, man. And see, my fight is justice. My fight is accountability. My fight is transparency and clarity, which BLM and none of them give, right? So I'm going to break it down to you because everything that literally this man said yesterday is a lie. I didn't move in with me and my wife did not move in with him when he went to jail. We wasn't, no, that's a lie. See, we didn't. Tanya did though. We didn't. Tanya did, right? We didn't move in with this man until he got out of prison. Out of prison. And since they want to talk about that I'm a registered, sex offender, which I am, there's no lie, from high school, not something that's recent, from high school. And that's not to sit there and say that's okay because it's not. I've sat there and I've paid my debt to society and I've learned from it. Never gonna say what I did was okay, but I'm still not a child molester. I'm not a pedophile. I'm not a predator. I was a senior in high school and she was 16. She was a freshman. We were 39 months apart. So don't sit there and call me all these motherfucking types of names when you don't even know my case, right? So that was a lie. And I can prove that because I have to register, right? So again, I'm gonna say that again. I have proof that I lived with this man, right? But not in January. It wasn't until he got out of jail that we moved in with him because we were still living in Red Wing. We were when his son was murdered, and that's not to bring Jamari into it because Jamari has nothing to do with this. But we were traveling back and forth. There was people like Lauren Lee. There were people like Selena Moorfield that were, and rest in peace, Lena, that would send us money. That would send us money to be able to be up there at his memorial because Tez was in jail. So if we really want to talk about it, let's talk about it. But don't get up there and say lies, man, because at the end of the day, all you're doing is deflecting and distracting. It's just like when I talked about the bail money, right? Why did Bianca make a live? And then as soon as people put the bond slip out there, she took the live video down. Make it make sense. Y'all got to wake up. These people are scam artists, scam and con artists, con artists. And that's crazy to me how people sit there and don't even see it for what it is. Instead, they double down with these people. They double down with them. Go look at that video of the chicken blood of the girl asking her, "Why did you wash me in chicken blood?" And told me it was the blood of Jesus. Come on, man. These people are a cult, and y'all don't. Hey, but we want to talk about Charles Manson. We want to talk about Epstein. Let's talk about BLM. Let's talk about Black Lives Matter, because they're the one. They worse than the popos. Because first of all, they allow the popos to do what they do, and then they don't try to change it. They come out here and lie about it. That's hypocritical. They don't come out here and change shit. Because I'll tell you right now, if we were really out here doing something, we wouldn't be losing lives. We wouldn't be, Sarah Miles wouldn't have lost her son, Derek Clark. Val Holmes wouldn't have lost Eric. Jaheim McMillan would still be here. Tyree Nichols would still be here. So don't tell me y'all out here doing work. Because what work are you doing when bodies are piling up every day? You want credit for what? What are you doing? Even with me, that's, the crazy thing of it is, you ask me what I'm doing, I'll tell you right now, the shit that I've done hasn't done shit. Hasn't done shit. Hasn't done shit. I sat here and I authored and got a resolution passed in Red Wing, Minnesota, proclaiming racism a public health crisis. What has it done? Nothing, because racism to black people is still rampant. Black people are still second-class citizens in Red Wing, Minnesota, right? I did that. Now, the Strategic Racial Equity Action Plan, I did that. What have you done? What kind of legislation have you done? I've written bills. I've been a part of bills at the state legislature. What have you been a part of? What? I want to know, and this ain't even to throw weight, but what have you done? I was a part of a rental housing license program in Red Wing that didn't have a rental licensing program in years to better so that people could live healthier. What have you done? I'm doing what I can, what I'm capable of, because it takes more than just me. It takes more than me. But see, when I go into these state capitals, when I go into these city halls, I'm alone. When I go into these public safety meetings, I'm alone. But where y'all be at? Y'all don't be at these town halls. You don't be at these public safety meetings. You don't be at these committee hearings at the state legislature. Where y'all be at? Where you be at? Boots on the ground? Whose streets? Our streets? Because y'all ain't doing a very good job at that either. When the white man tells you what to do and you do it, and you bow down and listen. Because y'all got all that smoke for people who are calling you out for doing wrongs. But where's that smoke at for the police that are out killing these impacted, these black children, these black men, these black women? Y'all ain't got no smoke for that. Y'all ain't got no the smoke that y'all got for me, the smoke that y'all got for Lisa Simpson, for Kimberly Vaughn, for John Tail, for Asada, for Ghost. I wish y'all had the same motherfucking smoke, the same energy for these police, because y'all don't. Y'all don't have the same, and that's what's crazy to me. That's what's crazy to me. That's what's beyond crazy to me. That cocaine, my nigga, got you all gassed up. For real. Or is Jake hitting it from the back too hard? Or is Mr. Brown doing it too hard to you? Maybe get up off your knees and relax a little bit. Let them niggas get a relax. Let them breathe a little bit. Because y'all some dick in the booty ass niggas. And I mean that. I literally mean that. I'm doubling down. If you fuck with Tez, if you fuck with Families United, you part of the problem too. And I said what the fuck I said. I said what I said. I'm not going to sit there and make you pick and choose, but just to know you're part of the problem. Don't come out here and when I laugh at your posts, don't ask me what the laugh is for. You should already know. You should already know what that laugh is for because you're a fraud. You're a fake. Don't come out here and say by any means necessary when you with a nigga that sit here and is disrespecting, threatening, and intimidating not only just black women, but impacted families. And y'all don't sit there and say shit. So don't sit there and tell me you stand for something when you fall for anything. Don't sit there and tell me you stand for something when you literally fall for anything. Please. Please tell me that. Please. That's what I want to know. Please. So I want to say this little prayer to y'all because somebody sent me this yesterday after they watched that live and told me like this is literally what this dude did on this whole live. So that didn't happen. And if it did, it wasn't that bad. And if it was, that's not a big deal. And if it is, that's not my fault. And if it was, I didn't mean it. And if I did, you deserved it. That's exactly how that live went yesterday. It was projection and deflection. He didn't take responsibility for and first of all he lied. There was never no text message to Lisa Simpson. It was a call because here's the crazy thing of it is all of this happened with people around, right? It happened. We were all on a video call together, right? And she got off because he called back off Bianca's phone because all the numbers that I had for him were not working. His Louisville one, the Montana one, the California one, the Minneapolis one, none of them were working, right? So I gave her Bianca's. Bianca didn't answer. Took about 30 minutes, 40 minutes. Her phone rang. She answered it. She said, "Hey, Bianca calling me back." Oh, we're like, good, we can finally settle this. Well, she gets back on 10 minutes later, and it was Tez. It was Tez. So don't come out and say you were trying to be accountable, my nigga. And the same thing with Kimberly. You went on and lied. You literally used Tanya T-Bone James's profile to call her and threaten her. And then pass the phone to Bianca. And then when Bianca shows her mother, or when Kimberly shows her mother and her daughter, Bianca's like, man, this shit's crazy to me. How y'all really would just stand for anything. Y'all will stand for anything, man, and fall for nothing. That's crazy as hell. I don't get it. Y'all will literally that y'all might as well just believe the police narratives at this point. Just believe the police narratives because y'all are not truth seekers. You don't want to know the truth because people literally put the truth in y'all faces and you ignore it. You ignore it. So don't sit there and tell me that you want better for our communities. And the people taking these leaders, those ain't leaders. Beyond Reverend Tim Christopher, them ain't leaders. Them ain't leaders. That's why I say people have a whole different vision of leadership. Because these niggas they say are leaders, them ain't my leaders. Them ain't my leaders. Them are people that bow down to a system. Them are Negroes always asking Caucasians permission. Just like the NAACP. Because the NAACP used to do wonderful work until the white man took it over, until white supremacy took it over. The NAACP was out here. But see, then they got rid of the Black Panthers. Then they got rid of the Nation of Islam and Malcolm X, right? Because they tell us they're hate groups, they're terrorist groups. They hate America. They don't hate America. They just want better for black people. They're tired of the lies. They're tired of the bullshit. And then our people fall for it. They fall for the Section 8. They fall for the WIC. They fall for the food stamps. Instead of learning, educating to fight our fight. They want y'all to keep on with that handout so y'all don't know no better. It's called enslaved. It's called enslaved. See, and that's the crazy thing because don't forget, you must pitch the old black male versus the young black male. And the young black male against the old black male. You must use the dark-skinned slaves versus the light-skinned slaves. Our slaves trust and depend on this. They must love, respect, and trust only us. Oh, wait. Light-skinned slaves and the dark-skinned slaves. You must use the female versus the male and the male versus the female. You must also use your white servants and overseers. Distrust all blacks, but it is necessary your slaves trust and depend on us. They must love, respect, and trust only us. What does that sound like? That sounds like the makings of a slave. Because that's how they indoctrinate these people. Instead of people going to educate themselves, they don't do none of that. 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 They don't educate. They enslave. They don't break those chains. They keep y'all enslaved. They keep those handcuffs tighter, those chains tighter. Because how are we saying we care about everybody? Well, what about Robert Davis? What about Marvin Haynes, Cornelius Jackson, Timothy Magruder? All innocent black men that are sitting behind prison bars right now, that are innocent. And yet we have black leaders who are their attorneys, or who are fighting for them, that fucked them over and put them where they're at and helped them to put them where they're at. So don't sit there and tell me, Keith Ellison, that you're for black people when you sit there and railroad black people like Timothy Magruder. Right. And then we have so-called black leaders like Amy Klobuchar, who locked up innocent black youth. All right. Mike Freeman, R.T. Ryback. List goes on and on, player. I can go on and on with that, but a lot of people don't know that because they're not from around here. They're not from around here because they're from other places. You know, somebody posted on, I seen an old store that used to be on 26th, and I think it was Knox. Back in the day, it used to be a hot spot, right? It ain't there no more. It's a little grocery store, not a little convenience store, right? Where we used to all hang out. You know, I used to go in there and get the pickle. Remember the big ass pickles? I used to put, yeah, and then put my jolly, my what was that? The one that maybe it was, I don't know, it was a hot and spicy Jolly Rancher stick. Remember the sticks? Well, I used to stick my Jolly Rancher stick in the pickle juice, and I would, you know, before they put mixed Kool-Aid in there and everything, just to give it a different taste, right? That's what I used to do, man. Like, and people don't remember that because they weren't around. They weren't around when Minneapolis was really Minneapolis. And first of all, let me break this down to you, and I'm gonna get off here, right? I'm not a Republican. I'm a conservative because we're all raised conservative. We were all raised into family values. We were all raised into respect our elders. We were all raised into love thy neighbor, right? That's what conservatism is about. It's about honoring your community, honoring your ancestors, into family values and traditions. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? It's that because the Republicans took that shit over. Don't do that. Because I'm an urban conservative, right? And I want to tell you too, my nigga, it's not make America great again. It's make America streets safe again, bitch. Make America streets safe again. Don't nowhere in there do it say make America great again, because America ain't never been great. But see, America's streets have been safe, and we're gonna make them safe again. And that's my word to God. That's my word to my higher power. We definitely gonna make these streets safe again. Because I'm by any means necessary. Because of Malcolm and Fred and Huey, the same people he want to bring up who were murdered for the liberation of and educating black people, while you out here traumatizing and brutalizing impacted families who the system has already done that to. Why are you going to continue that cycle? Why do you work in, what is that? Yeah, I ain't even gonna say it. Why are you continuing that cycle? I'm not I get my words mixed up. Whatever, whatever. I ain't even gonna try it, man. But you continuing a cycle that white supremacy and that America has had here for years. You're a part of that. You don't want to change it because you can't beat them, so you join them. That's what happened, Tez, Bianca, Jake, Tanika, Michael Brown. Y'all couldn't beat them, so you joined them, right? Because you don't bite the hand that feeds you. Mm-hmm. Make that make sense. As if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense, right? Talk about it. Listen. Yeah. So don't sit there and tell me y'all out here for the right things when you keep on doing the wrong things. And I don't give a fuck how much good shit you done did in the past. If you're still continuing that violent cycle, right? Because I don't want violence. But if violence comes on my doorstep, huh, yeah, definitely don't back away from it. And see, that's the thing of it is, violence has came on my doorstep. So what do? You stand up, you fight back. Ain't that what this is about? When black women are under attack, what do? I thought it was stand up, fight back, not duck and swerve, not look the other way, like most of these people are doing. Are they doubling down and sticking up for the whole ass nigga? So what does that make you? I want y'all to go look in the mirror. What does that make y'all? Because you're no better. If you out here making subliminal posts, right, and think you're doing something by sticking up for Cortez or Jake or Bianca, Tanika, whoever, Michael Brown, you think that you're doing the right thing? You're not. You're not. Because you're in this for the wrong reasons. You're in this for the wrong reasons. For the wrong reasons. And just because they say justice for Mo, or justice for Muhammad, justice for Richard, y'all don't mean that shit. Because if you mean it, you wouldn't have threatened them. If you mean it, you wouldn't have degraded them. You wouldn't have belittled them. You would have wanted to hear their story and listen and not belittle. It would have been about progressing and accountability for unity. But instead, you doubled down and made a foolery of these people. The same thing that Akron PD's doing, the same thing BLM is doing, the same thing that California is doing, the same thing that LAPD is doing. And you're doing the same shit. You're doing the same shit. You're deflecting, you're distracting. Because you say you claim to be transparent, but one thing that you're missing is the clarity. You're not clarifying your information. So I clarified it for them. We didn't move in January when he went to jail. And I don't think he went to jail in January. I think it was the end of December when he went to jail. Oh, actually, no, it wasn't. It was November. It was November. It was right after Thanksgiving, after he was eating booty in Cincinnati on his way to Louisville to spend Thanksgiving with Bianca now. So, yeah. Yeah, but I thought a motherfucker said something. Yeah. Yep. And I'm going to keep on going because it's okay, my nigga. Just don't be surprised when California called you about the unemployment fraud, my nigga. Yeah, don't be surprised when California unemployment fraud calls you. Yeah, I'm a good snitch. Because if I'm not part of the crime, it ain't snitching. If you're not a part of the crime, it's not snitching. Oh, yeah. I'm going to show y'all. Something, right? I'm going to show y'all something. How these niggas work. And now when he sits there and gets papers from I gave them your Louisville address because you don't act like I don't know 5219 either, nigga. I definitely gave California your address. I want you to know that. I gave the unemployment fraud line your address and Bianca number. I want you to know that. I want you to know this. So don't be surprised when they come knocking at your door. Because I definitely gave them your address. Because it's public information. It's called the Freedom of Information Act. Y'all should really learn your rights and know that, right? Because it's all public information. It's all public information, and it's not hard to find. It's not that hard to find when you know where to look. When you know where to look, it ain't that hard. Because all of these, I got most of these motherfuckers' addresses. Most of them. Some of the highest. I know where Al Sharpton lives. Yeah. I'm gonna leave it at that. I know where my son, the general, lives. I know where Tamika Mallory lives, where they lay their heads. But y'all don't. I do, but y'all don't, because you don't know where to go look for the information. I know what these people make a year, sitting on these boards, working for these nonprofits, how they pay their transportation, how they pay for their housing costs, because that nonprofit, they say they're transparent, but what they don't give y'all is clarity. They don't give you clarification. They don't explain the workings of a nonprofit. So I'm going to leave it off at that. Y'all have a great, great day. Win or fail, freedom or jail, heaven or hell. Y'all already know what to do. Wish me well.
Every day, fighting for my life. Every day, fighting for my life. Fighting for my life. Fighting. I think not. Fire bred desire to rise above denial, to rise from former ashes to face new trial or triumph. I am enough. Trial to triumph.